Hey, good morning. We're getting ready to start another week of follow-throughs. I'm Pastor Fred, and was gone for about a week or so on vacation, but it's good to be back. And today we're going to be looking at a passage that I preached on just this Sunday, and it was Romans chapter 12, starting in verse 9. And we're going to go through a bunch of these verses, and it's kind of like the stuff that got put on the cutting room floor, like it didn't make it into the main sermon because there was just so much there this week. And I thought what we can do is look at some of these particular verses in a little closer detail this week. So we're going to start with verse 9 today. And Paul says this in Romans 12, verse 9. He says, "Let love be genuine. Abhor, or in other words, hate what is evil, but hold fast to what is good." So cling to, hold on to, like with a death grip, right? What is good. And as we talked about on Sunday, what he's talking about there is the will of God. That's what's good. What God wants for us, what God gives to us, His love, His forgiveness. So hold on to that. And what's evil, just have nothing to do with it. So marry what's good, divorce what is bad, right? And so that really begs the question, like, what about the nagging sins that you might have in your life, right? Those that habit that you kind of have, that attitude that just keeps creeping up, and you're wondering, like, why is it still such a problem, right? Maybe it's pride, maybe it's anger, maybe it's lust, maybe it's greed, right? It could be any of those types of things, and you just find yourself falling for it time after time after time, and it's a struggle. And you got to ask yourself, when it comes to those things, do you hate them, or are they things that maybe you know they're wrong, but you somehow justify it? So maybe that's a good first question. Like, is it really wrong? Is it really something that is against God, that God would say, no, that is like disaster for your life? And so I think if it's something you're struggling with, I think it's pretty easy to say, like, that you feel it's wrong. In other words, that dog needs to go. It needs to get out of the house. It was a stray, and you let it in without your glasses on, and you didn't really see what it really was, and now you realize that it's a Bengal tiger or it's a real gigantic bear. And you realize that there's nothing good is going to happen with that in your life, with that in your house. And so it has to go. It's going to destroy you. It's going to like rip up everything and tear everything up in your life. And so maybe that's leads to another good question, which is, okay, when it comes to greed, when it comes to that pride or whatever that sin that you're dealing with, like, what benefit has it given you? And I would venture to say not at all. In fact, it's been actually in the minus column all along. And so when you add all of that up, Paul is saying, look, just have a hatred for it, have a deep-seated hatred for it, and hold on to all those good things that God gives. Because let me ask you, are the things that God gives you massive? Are they like just overwhelmingly awesome and incredible? And the answer is yes, they are. His love, His forgiveness. Think about that. His Son dies on a cross for us. I mean, how massive is that? And so if Paul is calling us to hold on to that, but we're holding on to love that not only is genuine, but it is so big and so massive. And I want us to think, like, okay, so if I'm holding on to that, like, how could I possibly have room to hold on to those little piddly, like, goofy, like, deadly things that just keep on nagging me? So I say right now, let's look at those things and let's send them packing, because we got something better that God wants us to hold on to: His love, His forgiveness. And so hold on to that today, and just look for the joy that God's going to give you. And we'll see you tomorrow for another follow-through.